Hello, and welcome to Session 5 of J.A. Ourselves. Can anyone remember what we talked about last time we met? Good job! We talked about saving money. We also talked about how people save money in order to buy something they need or want at a later time. Today, we will be discussing what it means to give or share something. So let's start off with the objectives. The objective for Session 5 is to explain the importance of giving. Ready to get started on the lesson? Let's go! So imagine that you have 2 apples. What would you do with those apples? If I had 2 apples, I would share one with a friend. Raise your hand if you would share one of your apples with a friend. How does sharing make you feel? I know when I share, it always makes me feel really good inside. So what does it mean to give? To give is to make a gift of something. Have you gave anyone anything in the past week? I gave my sister a gift for her birthday yesterday. We are now going to read a short story called Charlie Plants a Garden. So this story is about a boy named Charlie and his classmates and how they earn money for a good cause. So let's find out how they do that. So Charlie sat with his grandma at the kitchen table. It was the first day of spring. When I was a little girl, I lived on a farm, Grandma Laura said. Each spring we planted a vegetable garden. The corn was sweet and delicious. I haven't planted a vegetable garden in a long time, Grandma Laura sighed. The next day, Charlie walked to school with his friends. A vegetable garden sounded great, he thought. Why couldn't the neighborhood have its own garden filled with fresh vegetables for everyone to enjoy? Charlie told his teacher, Mr. Jacobs, his idea for a vegetable garden. Mr. Jacobs smiled. I think we could make your idea our class project and share what we grow with the community. Mr. Jacobs said some of the vegetables would go to the local food pantry to feed the hungry. Charlie and his classmates couldn't wait to get started. After working out the details, Mr. Jacobs said the class could start a neighborhood garden in the empty space across the street from the school. Mr. Jacobs gave everyone a letter to take home explaining the class project and inviting families to help. A garden would need lots of things. Mr. Jacobs told the students they would sell seed cups for $1 each to raise money. Mr. Jacobs help the students get started. He gave everyone 2 packets. One packet had flower seeds. The other packet had vegetable seeds. Mr. Jacobs showed everyone how to glue the picture of their plants onto the outside of the cups. When the glue had dried, the students put soil in the cups. They put seeds on top of the soil and then covered them with more soil. Mr. Jacobs had the students put their cups on a table by the window. Everyone took a turn watering the seeds. Little green sprouts soon pushed up from the dark soil. In a few weeks, the vegetable plants would be big enough to plant in the garden. While they waited for the vegetable plants to grow, the students sold the flower cups. Family and friends put the cups in their windows for neighbors to see. When all the money had been collected, Mr. Jacobs told the class they had enough to buy 2 rakes, 2 shovels, a hose, and a watering can. They were ready to start work in their garden. Charlie liked digging in the dirt in the garden. He carefully measured the space between the holes he dug. He filled the holes with corn plants and patted the dirt in place. Spring came and went. Soon it was summer. Charlie, his neighbors, and classmates visited the neighborhood garden often, pulling weeds and watering the plants. Finally, the garden was ready for everyone in the neighborhood to start picking vegetables. Charlie picked corn to give to the food pantry and some to take home. Grandma Laura cooked the corn that night for dinner. Charlie's garden corn was sweet and fresh, just like the corn Grandma Laura grew when she was young. Charlie felt happy. He knew he had worked hard and done something special for the neighborhood. And that's the end. What a great story that was. Now let's review. You're now going to do an activity with your teacher about giving. Thank you for being such a great class. I've enjoyed our time together.